It's the Cloud Festival 2015, and so nice to be talking to Strahan, ladies and gentlemen. Hey! Little smattering of applause, which is always nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks, guys. I hope they're paying you well.
Hey, by the way, you're looking very, very summery.
Thanks, man.
And that's appropriate because it's summer.
It is, dude, and it's hot out there, bro.
Yeah.
I don't be out there.
Now, you've had a very interesting summer because you've been touring the country with Dan Bremnes from Canada with Tier Funds, and I hear it's been just incredibly successful.
It's been great, man. Other than getting to do some cliff jumps and swimming at beaches, I've got to tell stories about visiting my sponsored child, Shafiq, in Uganda, and yeah, people have just been so generous in responding to the call to help these kids. So
yeah, because it's always become a little bit legendary that the amount of people who have been coming is kind of small crowds, but they've been incredibly generous in terms of the amount of kids who have been sponsored.
Oh,
it's
dude,
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we did an event in Warkworth, and about 7 people came, and I think we had 8 kids sponsored or something.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah. Talk about your relationship with Tier Fund. You just said you'd visited your sponsored child in Uganda. I mean, that must be an amazing thing to do, and why does it burn on your heart?
Dude, it was amazing. Yeah, Uganda is an incredible place. It burns on my heart. Years ago, I read Isaiah 58, and I saw a direct correlation between what I do with my life and worshiping God, and how genuine my faith is. And you know, I've sponsored children for years and dreamt of going and being there, seeing it in person, seeing the kind of muddy water, the filth in the slums, and seeing the difference it made in his family. Just, it's life-changing, man. I'm still kind of processing it, but it was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it must be a real perspective changer when you actually see how people live in the developing world compared to how we live in New Zealand. I mean, does that make it easier for you to communicate that message to the audiences you speak to, do you think? Or does it actually make it kind of more difficult because you can't express the emotion, the things you feel?
Yeah, I think maybe 2 things. One, when I was there, the feeling I had the whole time was it's exactly how I imagined it, and I suddenly realized I never needed to go to understand it. It is as bad as it looks. It's exactly how it sounds. But on the flip side of that, I think I'm a bit of a feeler, and when I was there in Shafiq's home in the slum, I realized what hopelessness feels like, and I think that's helped me really communicate in New Zealand, because it's that emotional response you have to looking around and saying, these guys are hopeless, and child sponsorship's giving them hope, and so that's been a major for me.
Yeah, no, that's great. You've been full-time with the music for 2 years now.
Yep.
And what's that been like? Because that's a real faith thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a faith thing. Yeah, so we've been living as musicianaries for 2 years. We've been to Germany and Uganda, the States, and I love it, man. You know, it's a wild ride. It's definitely an adventure. But you know, I got to play in pubs and bars. I played in one kind of anarchist bar in Germany. Guys tattered head to toe and drinking and smoking away, and got to talk to them about Jesus and see God do amazing stuff. And I love it, man. I couldn't imagine doing anything else there.
Yeah. You've also got, and if anybody's seen you play, you've got a bit of a prophetic ministry as well. And sometimes I've seen you play and you'll say, hey, I've got a word for somebody. And is that something that you want to develop a little bit more? Is that something you sort of feel comfortable doing?
I love it, man. Actually, the first thing I can remember asking God when I was a kid and I came to faith was, God, I'd love to be a prophet someday, and I don't pray that anymore. I read the scriptures, I don't want to be a prophet, but
yeah, it ends badly sometimes.
It does, man. I think there's something quite amazing about it that just helps people to see that when we're coming somewhere that it's about God, and I love, the emphasis for me is on people meeting God, and so I would love to see it grow, man, because in those moments where you can share a word with someone, they realize why we're here and what our heart is, and it just takes a focus and puts it in the right place. And I've heard some amazing stories of God speaking to people right in the right moments, and yeah, it's a blessing, dude. It's cool.
Yeah. New music, any on the horizon?
Oh man, so much new music kicking around the throws. I would love to do a full-length album this year. I've been working on an EP with Dave Baxter, which was kind of a concept EP based around some words that I got last year and pictures. But yeah, I'm hoping to get back into the studio, do a full-length this year.
That's great. So watch this space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always a pleasure to talk to you, mate, and thanks so much for making it in. Ladies and gentlemen, Strahan.